Primoz Roglic, though, feel for him after what's been a battering and a bruising year. But I am just so full of joy for Louis Meintjes. This is that little step that he's got to put some power back into the legs before he actually finishes the job today, and he's going to. But look at the margin to Remco Evenepoel of 1 minute 47 from Meintjes. But what margin? Evenepoel ahead of the greats, Sean, of this race. He is imposing himself on it, and he's looking like a champion in waiting. But we remind ourselves, only stage 9 of 21. There's a lot of this tale still to be told, but at the moment, he's the leading man.
Yes, well, of the GC men, he is the man who has been, showing the best form. Any time we had this finish uphill, he's just put the others in difficulty, and here he's put a lot of them in difficulty. We see Enric Mas there, he tried to match him for a while, and then if you go a bit too deep into the red, you suffer further on. And we can see Mas has been, caught by Carlos Rodriguez and Ayuso here, and that is always the danger. You just go a bit too close to the red, and then you can pay further up with this real steep gradient. But Evenepoel, again, he's going to make a lot of time on the GC men. We can see the man who is defending here his title, Roglic, he's just battling on, and you just try and get into the finish, get to the finish as quickly as possible and limit your losses. That's all you can do in a situation where Roglic is at the moment.
This is amazing. Guilherme has now been passed by this man who was in the break. Here is Louis Meintjes, almost disappeared into the crowd. We saw this finish a little bit earlier on, and they're tooting the horns, but you'll notice the fans here, they're just looking at the rider. This is fantastic. They're not touching, not laying a finger upon him, letting him do his job. And Louis Meintjes is doing a fabulous job, and so is this man as he comes into sort of some repaired gravel sections, slightly loose surface. It's not a sprint, but it kind of feels like it the way that these guys are taking it on. Absolutely remarkable. 4.5 hours in the saddle, and then they have this kind of test towards the end. A test that many others have, sadly for them, I'm afraid, been found out upon. Oh, brave work by Dylan van Baarle. I'm sure he was setting himself up to help the likes of Theo Gegenhardt later on, and maybe Rodriguez. Wasn't to be. He tried his level best to impose himself, couldn't quite do it, but this man almost owns the mountain. He may be a little guy, but he is going to scream loud and proud from the top, and quite frankly, so will any fan of his, of which I count myself one. It's brilliant to see, and so, Robbie, is this.
Now we'll just about be able to hear the cheers coming from South Africa for Louis Meintjes, and from Belgium as well for Remco Evenepoel, because he is stamping his authority on this race. His team has been controlling, no matter they lost one rider at the start of the day, he is just washing them all away. But the most impressive today, Louis Meintjes got himself in the breakaway. He was 8th overall in the Tour de France. The question was, could he be fresh enough for the Vuelta? Can he ever, into the break, catch the escapees on the climb, up and over the top, and the South African is going to get the biggest victory of his career.
He is, and what a magnificent moment this will be. The Coppi Bartoli he took in 2015, and the contract book started to open up. Ever since then, we have been waiting for a moment like this. And finally, after 7 years, it has come. The cup runneth over for Louis Meintjes. This is a great moment for fans of cycling. And for this man, absolutely wonderful. Louis Meintjes, king of this mountain. And what a severe one it turned out to be. A big test, the first of which was to get into the breakaway. He passed that and then ticked every box since then. Likewise, this man, Remco Evenepoel, given a huge shock in the morning. Peter Serry not there at his disposal, a hobbled team perhaps, and so they wanted to make a statement. They dominated the day, they controlled everything, uphill, down dale, and then when it was time, he had to take a step forward. And he's done more than that, Remco Evenepoel. He has absolutely destroyed the opposition. All credit to those who were in the breakaway. They will make their way home here, and Sammy Battistella is going to get another second place on a stage of this great race. He can take some real cheer in that. I don't think he was ever going to beat Louis Meintjes. That's why he set off early on this peak, and finally he crosses the line. He realises it's not to be his day once more. other brave men out there. They've shone brightly